I don't remember a week that was packed quite with this much to talk about in a while. So, I mean, there's nothing much left to do except let's just get to it. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update as we're about to wrap up August here and head into September, which means there's read-along news to talk about. But let's talk about first, like we always do with every single one of these, is let's talk about what am I reading. If you've been following the page, you've been following Discord, you've been following the Twitter account for the channel, I have been working my way through the Licanius trilogy, and I am happy to say that book 2 is every bit as good as book 1. About halfway through it there. I'm trying to wrap that up before the end of the month here because there are something big coming up on the channel that you probably know about by this point because I always talk about it, and that is, of course, the read-along. But what I'm going to do next is talk about what I'm going to read, and it'll kind of transition to some other things. So I am only reading that right now so I can try to get done in time to start book 2 of our read-along, Night's Shadow. Guys, if you aren't doing the Greatcoats read-along and you still want to, there's still time. Look, that first book is really quick. You can knock it out in a week. You got, 5 days, I think, until... But who cares if you don't start this on September the 1st? It's not going to, go away. However, this one is a little meatier. These books do seem to get bigger as they go along, as is the case with most fantasy series. They do seem to get bigger as they go along. But September 1st, I'll be starting this one because I'm pretty sure I'll be done past halfway now on Echo, so I'll be starting this on the 1st and talking about it on the Discord. So guys, if you still want to join the read along, hop on the Discord. The link is in the description below. We would love to talk to you. Again, it's our dry run before we do our Malazan read, and it's went over really well, and I'm excited to hop back into that world because I read that first book in a couple of days, and I've been waiting a month to see what happens next, and so I'm very excited to do that. So that is the plan for what I'm going to read. This week on the channel, talked about Licanius, obviously. I did do my review for The Shadow of What Was Lost, and I think that I surprised some people with that because let's just say that some of the more renowned booktubers haven't been very friendly to that book. And I liked it quite a bit. And I'm not like a contrarian or anything. Like I always say, I'm very open to being critical on a book. I mean, just look at the review I did for The Bands of Mourning this week also. I felt like I was very mixed to negative on Mistborn Era 2 overall. And that's not going to be a popular opinion anytime you say anything, not glowing about Brandon Sanderson. So my Shadow of What Was Lost review is really just... I was surprised because my expectations were low going into it because of what I had heard. And I hear so many people saying, oh, well, I heard this reviewer say it was no. So I cross off. If you have a reviewer that you trust implicitly like that, awesome, go for it. What I always say is I'm going to give you my opinion, but I encourage you to read it yourself and find out. And with Licanius, I think that you'll find more to like than dislike. I understand the criticisms. It's definitely not a perfect book. It is a first-time author. But I'm not understanding a lot of the criticisms that it gets. So there we go. You can get more of that if you check out that review. I also talked about some of my plans for what I'm going to do in between Malazan next year. I don't want to keep adding all these new series in. Like I want to read Poppy War. I want to read Remembrance of Earth's Past. I want to read Hyperion. All kinds of stuff like that. But I'm like, I don't want to keep adding on new series while I'm making my way through Malazan because Malazan is going to take priority number 1. And Realm of the Elderlings, Robin Hobb, that's priority number 2. So those are the 2 big series that I'm doing in 2021. So everything else that I would like to do is going to be standalones, or what I call palate cleansers. If it might be a series, like I talked about Murderbot, like I talked about the Bobaverse book, stuff like that. Stuff that's really light reads. Basically something that's going to replace what Dresden Files was for me while I was making my way through Wheel of Time. But I talked about that, and some of the ones on the short list there. Blake Crouch is obviously very popular with the channel because I did put up a poll about some of these authors you guys would like me to talk about, and I expected David Gemmell to run away with it because David Gemmell always gets comments. But maybe it's just because it's my John Gwynne stuff, and there's a lot of comparisons there. Everyone's saying you got to read David Gemmell. But yeah, it was Blake Crouch, and it was Lucius in the Remembrance of Earth's Past, which I'm planning to do anyway. But I was surprised with Blake Crouch on there. So I do plan to do Dark Matter next year, and Neil Gaiman for the first time, reading The Martian, reading Life of Pi, things like that. Check out that video if you missed it, because I think it created a lot of conversation and got me a lot of good recommendations for people. And it was also weird because it's the only video that I've ever been called a millennial, and that I remind someone of their dad in the same video. So I got mass appeal, baby. I must. Next week and September plans. Next week, to wrap up the first book in the read-along, I will be doing the review for Traitor's Blade. I plan to do that at the end of every month to kind of give everybody the whole month to get there. Traditional review, non-spoiler, some spoiler thoughts at the end. That's how I'm going to do all of these. And then I'll probably do like a series wrap-up when we're completely done. But again, guys, not too late. Definitely not too late. Then over the course of September, I will be going back into the multiverse, but it's going to be a little different than it has been. I've just been doing one book a month. Well, I'm going to do one book 4 times over the course of this month, because I'm talking, of course, about different seasons. This is 4 novellas in one. And so when I started looking at it, I said, I don't see how I could do just one episode on all 4 of these stories, because it would probably be an hour long. And so what I decided I'll do is, how about if I just do one book over the course of 4 episodes at about 12 to 15 minutes long. So look for the first one. First week of September, I'll be doing Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, which most of you might be familiar with. So that'll be the first one, and I'll be doing one each week after that, concurrently with Stormlight September. If you don't know Stormlight September, I have moved past Mistborn now. I'm going to be going to Roshar and talking about Stormlight Archive for the first time on this channel. I know Stormlight has been covered ad nauseum by everyone else in the BookTube universe, but it'll be my first foray into it. I don't know if I have anything new or different to add, but I'm going to do it regardless. I'll be starting the first week of September with a why you should read the Stormlight Archive, because you like fantasy. That's the #1 answer. And then each week after that, I'll be doing a review for The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, and Oathbringer. And then maybe not in September, maybe, I don't know, it depends on how it goes. Maybe some kind of predictions or theories or just discussion for Rhythm of War, some kind of preview video or something like that. Haven't really decided. Just kind of actually just thought of that just now while I was talking to you. So that's what happens when you do these live. But that pretty much is everything going on the channel right now, and everything I'm doing with books. But there is some all kinds of entertainment to talk about, and I want to talk about some movie news here, because it was a big week. It is amazing what can happen when you don't treat your fans like the enemy. And that's what happened with Warner Brothers and DC Fandom. Is it Fandom or Fandome? I've never actually heard it say. I'm just saying DC Fandom, but it's spelled like Fandome. So anyway, DC Fandom, where they basically, it was like San Diego Comic-Con Hall H, but sitting on your sofa because of the whole virus that shall not be named. And it went over extremely well. And I mean, something that Warner Brothers DC adaptations have had a hard time getting for the last 4 to 5 years is positive buzz. And it is very positive buzz right now. And I want to believe that they have turned the other leaf. I talked last week on the weekly update, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I don't know, time all bleeds together right now, about the changes that were being made at DC Comics and why I thought that it was something that was well past due and everyone saw coming. But look, I'm not letting my guard down, but I do like the approach that they're taking. They're not treating their fans like the enemy. I don't think they ever really did that, but I do feel like they haven't been taking the Lucasfilm approach, where they haven't been just taking a crap on all the fans and treating them like they're the enemy. They understand, they're listening to criticism, and they're trying to fix some things. And they revealed several new movies. We've already talked about the Snyder Cut. Look, my opinions on this will probably seem jaded. If you're very excited for these things, awesome. I want to be. I am a humongous DC Comics fanboy. Huge. And I've been hurt by Warner Brothers too many times. So that's why I always am going to have that cautious optimism, okay? The Snyder Cut, to me, the trailer looked like the same movie with some deleted scenes in it. I hope that's not the case. I'm glad that it's getting released, though, because I feel like that was one of the things that was kind of scoffed at as fans. It was 2 things. It was that The Last Jedi is not canon, and release a Snyder Cut was the 2 things that just got openly mocked by media outlets. And one still remains to be seen. And the second one, you know what? it does exist and it is getting released. So I'm extremely happy for those people who fought for what they believed in and took a boatload of criticism in getting there. So I hope it's everything that you guys hope it is. And I will be watching it for sure. 4-hour miniseries? Sure. I'll check it out. Look, I love Man of Steel. I love The Watchmen. I love Dawn of the Dead. I think Zack Snyder is a pretty good filmmaker. I just wasn't crazy for basically this DCEU version that he put out, which was basically The Watchmen. I didn't want to see my Justice League characters be The Watchmen. So that was kind of my problem with it. But I'm going to watch it with an open mind. I'm very excited to see. And Zach, if you want to get on my good side, just have a cameo with Hal Jordan in there somewhere. And I'm going to be happy because Green Lantern deserves your respect. What else they did? They did the first trailer for The Batman. And I think I might be on the minority on this one that I'm just kind of like, huh, on it. Everyone seems to love it. I mean, like, overwhelmingly positive reaction. And that's great. Look, I love what Matt Reeves did with the Planet of the Apes movies. I thought they were really good, so I want to trust them. I've been asking for a world's greatest detective noir Batman movie for a while, and so I hope that that's what this is. I've never been crazy about the casting for it. I've never been wild about the aesthetic that they're going for with the Year 2 Batman. Everything just kind of looks like cheap cosplay of the Nolan Batmans to me. So I'm hoping to be wrong on that one, because guys, I'm as big a Batman honk as anybody. I would love to see a good Batman movie. I just don't know why it's so hard to get a Batman the Animated Series style, true to its comic book roots adaptation of this character. I don't know why that's so hard to do. Why do we always have to have directors say, oh, well, we all respect the comics, but we're doing our own thing? I don't understand why this is so hard. So that's really my gripe. If you guys are excited about it, I definitely don't want to be a wet blanket on that one. I cautiously optimistic. I hope to be wrong. I do. Wonder Woman 84, the trailer looks really good. It really does. I obviously am a child of the 80s, so anything that takes place in the 80s, I'm going to be excited about it. I'm going to check it out because, nostalgia is always fun. But nostalgia can only take you so far, So I'm hoping it's more than that. Fanny pack stuff. It seemed pretty funny. Really good trailer. Gal looks great, as always. I'm not so sure about Cheetah. I do like that they are embracing Cheetah. They aren't making her, what they would have done if this movie came out in like 2002 is they would have had someone in like a cheetah print trench coat, and that would have been Cheetah. They're embracing it. They're going for it. The CG does look kind of weird, but again, there's time before the movie comes out. I think, I don't know, because the movie's supposed to come out in July because of the virus or something. Anyway. We'll see. But I'm glad that they're kind of going for it. And Pedro Pascal, the guy playing Maxwell Lord, the Mandalorian guy. I'm interested to see his spin on the character because Maxwell Lord is just a real son of a bitch in the comics, man. So I'm real interested to see how they go with it. So that's one that I think will eventually. They might release it in theaters, but I think it's going to be on HBO Max. I really do. I think they'll do like Disney's doing Mulan with it. I really think that's going to be like the biggest profile release to go straight to on demand. But we'll see if I'm right on that one. I don't know. I mean, they're forcing Tenet out, and it seems like it's actually doing okay as far as like pre-ticket sales. So we shall see. And lastly, we just got like a quick little tease for The Suicide Squad. That first movie, no, not really from me. Birds of Prey, no, didn't really care for it. I think Margot Robbie's a great casting for Harley Quinn, but it hasn't really landed for me yet. But I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I trust James Gunn, so I'm going to watch it because it's James Gunn, and I feel like he probably has a better grip on these characters than maybe David Ayer did, who just really wanted to make a gangster movie, and it just didn't work for me. But I'm hoping that this will be zany enough that I'll probably dig it. But overall, a very great show for them, very good exposure, and like I said, when you don't just shit on your fans, you don't treat them like the enemy. Look, good things happen. They probably got more positive word of mouth in the last week off of this stuff, off of that event, than they have in the last like 5 years. So hopefully Warner Brothers has turned a new leaf and they said, hey, let's listen to our audience a little bit. We shall see, guys, but it's a very good first step. Dune trailer news, just because it wouldn't be an episode of the weekly update without talking about the Dune trailer. September 9th is the official online release date. Apparently it's already attached to Tenet. There's people talking about it right now. You can get scene by scene breakdowns. I'm not going to do that for you here in case you don't want to know. Yeah, I read them. I read the book, so it doesn't bother me to read what the teaser trailer's going to have in it. I'll just say, Gom Jabbar. And I am excited, obviously. I am not going to watch any leaked version of it. I can wait 1 week to watch this trailer and react to it fresh and nice, HD 4K on my computer monitor. I can wait. I can do that. So that is the plans for that, and I will still do reactions for that. A couple of TV things. The Haunting of Bly Manor. That is the follow-up to the anthology series, The Haunting of Hill House. That was on Netflix, done by the amazing Mike Flanagan. Doesn't have a release date, but they did say it is coming this year. My guess, guys, is coming in Halloween. It's going to be middle October sometime. They're doing Books of Blood on Hulu the first week of October, so I would guess that this will be like October 14th or 15th. Netflix is so secretive about their release dates, but it's coming, and it's going to be wonderful because it's Mike Flanagan. He's adapting The Turn of the Screw by Henry James this time. So I think that's a great idea to make that a anthology series, and I can't wait to see what he does next because Mike Flanagan can do no wrong. Best horror director working right now, and I stand by it forever. Altered Carbon got canceled. I didn't watch season 2. Look, I didn't even finish season 1. I liked it for the most part. I just I don't know. There was too many other things going on. But I said, okay, I'm going to go back and give it a try, and now it got canceled. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I heard season 2 wasn't good. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I heard. A lot of people say it completely lost everything that made it really awesome. I still like to read the Richard K. Morgan books, though, so there's always that. And as far as what we're actually watching, me and my wife started watching Yellowstone Season 3. Guys, if you like The Sons of Anarchy and you like The Godfather, I see no reason why you wouldn't like Yellowstone. It's Sons of Anarchy and with horses instead of motorcycles, and Kevin Costner basically plays Don Corleone. Okay, it's good. It's a really great show, and we waited until it was done so we could just kind of binge it. But it's been a really busy week with getting the kids ready for school and stuff like that. So we've only gotten a couple of episodes in, but we plan to continue that over the weekend and probably wrap it up. One quick little thing before I go, a little bit of gaming news. Also, a DC fan, they unleashed the next Batman game, and it doesn't feature Batman. It's called Gotham Knights, and I believe, based off this trailer, if you play the Arkham series, it takes place after the end of Arkham Knight, where let's just say Batman is indisposed. So in this game, you're going to play as Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood, and it looks excellent. It looks every bit as good as those games. I can't wait. I don't know how they kept this a secret, really. But, I think it's because if you had said, yeah, we're making a Batman game without Batman, but they're also doing Court of Owls in it. Yes. So, awesome stuff. Check that out. I think they said it's like 2022, so it's not even close to ready yet. But still, it's really awesome. That it's the guys that made. It's not the ones who made the Arkham City or Arkham Asylum or Arkham Knight. It's the ones that made Arkham Origins, which I actually liked. I know a lot of people kind of turned their nose up at it because it wasn't Rocksteady, but it was. I thought it was. I liked it more than Knight. Knight just turned into a bat tank simulator, and I didn't care for that. But we'll get into that another time. But check out Gotham Knights if you haven't. But guys, that was my week. What are you reading? What are you going to read? Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you're watching, what you're playing, what you listen to, and of course what you're reading. And have yourselves a great weekend.